Hey, 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 you're listening to Friday's Flavor with New York's finest business bee, Jolene D. Every Friday, we're digging deep with business owners, non for profits, and entrepreneurs alike, bringing you the hottest tips and topics on the business world. You know what they say if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. So tune in and get ready to grow, my busy bees. Welcome to Friday's Flavor with your girl JoJo, and we have Andreas on today from the Bread Butler. You may have heard of it. It is a subscription-based bread company based out of the Capital Region in Colony, and he does what I love best: carbs. Yes, he does carbs, and as you can imagine, it's a bread service, and he sticks to the simplest of ways of doing things, which is probably my favorite way of doing everything. He makes really great bread. He makes it super fresh, and he brings it straight to your door. So give everybody a little background on yourself, Andreas, and welcome to the show. Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me. Um, my background, it's all over the place, I guess. I used to be a pharmacist. I had a couple businesses in the past. Most recent is an escape room called Pursue the Clue. Of course, we're sort of closed right now, and maybe into the future as well. Um, and Geez, what else have I done? I've been a hospital corpsman in the Navy. I've, the model airplane business I had, but I consider myself a skill collector. So I like to learn how to do different things, and I like to design and build things. Um, I'm always bebopping to something else, and bread has been something that's been with me for a while. I mean, it's 20 years or so, I guess, and I don't know, it's something that I've improved on over the years, and now I'm here.
That's awesome. I mean, you went from pharmacist to bread assist. I'm going to coin that term somehow.
Bread assist, yes.
Actually, I'll let you keep it. That's really interesting. Kind of a jack of all trades, have done everything, have made a lot of business moves. I'm kind of like that. I've opened up a number of different types of businesses in the past, so I totally feel you on that. Like, I don't understand people who've just done one thing and done it well. I've done a lot of things poorly for a long time.
No, but trying to do everything well. I
was going to say, you're doing pretty good with the Bread Butler. You're doing something right.
I think I do things well, but I don't always get paid well to do them. That's the other thing. I think there's a lot of people that are like skilled in the other avenue where they're not so great at doing stuff, but then they know how to make the money. I'm still learning that. Maybe you're gonna help me now.
Right. We'll join forces, the Jack and Jill of all trades. That's so great. So the Bread Butler started not so long ago, this particular project, and it is a bread subscription service for any of you who have not heard of it. And I know that you had been doing a steady amount of business, and then you got this really great Times Union review, and it just blew up overnight. Tell me a little bit about that blow up.
Oh, well, Steve Barnes at Times Union did a review, and originally, I forget what her name is, Christy, I think. She also works at the Times Union, and she was a customer of mine way out in Rensselaer County. I thought maybe she was too far to deliver to, but she ended up posting something on Facebook. She has quite a number of followers, and she works with Steve Barnes. He had gotten a few weeks of deliveries, and then he contacted me to do a phone interview, and he published a very nice, a really complimentary review, both on his blog, and it came in print, I think, in the Times Union, and also there's like a Colony version. I don't know, but it came out in there as well. So in a couple days, I had basically my next week or more of orders filled up, and I couldn't possibly really make any more than what I was at that point. So it was I was not really set up for the amount of orders that I got. I think we handled them pretty well. People, I think, were more. They just didn't realize like what kind of a service it was. They thought it was more, you order it, you get a loaf of bread kind of thing. Whereas this is more a weekly type deal. You make an order and it's usually for the following week. Or if you have a subscription, then you're just guaranteed a delivery every week. And it just is like an auto renewing order on the website.
Yeah. I think that's such an interesting way to do it because, I mean, everybody eats bread. And if we're going to be realistic about it, we're all kind of boring and we all get that same type of bread that we like, that we know we enjoy. And
Right.
like, I'm not out there buying a different type of bread every week. I'm just not. I'm getting the one that I know I like and I'm getting it over
Right.
and over again. And I have 3 kids, so I can pretty much gauge how much bread we're going to go through, and it's too much. And so, we all know how much we're going to need. And so, I mean, I think it makes sense to me like, wow, okay, this checks off all my boxes. I don't have to remember to get it at the grocery store. It's just going to show up to my house. It's already fresh. I know it was made just for me. And I know this handsome man, Andreas, was behind it. So why not? Sounds good, right? I think that's a really fabulous idea. What kind of made you think of this concept?
I mean, I've made, it's been in the works for a few years. I did the escape room instead. When I was initially thinking, I was really close to opening up the bread business, probably like 5-6 years ago. Decided to go escape room, and now I sort of come back to it. But people were telling me it was some of the best bread they've ever eaten. And I was like, well, maybe I could sell it. It's maybe, I don't know if it would work. And I kind of, like, how long does it take to make a loaf of bread? I don't know it takes a long time to make 1 loaf of bread. It takes 2 days, but like, how long does it take to make 10 loaves or 100 loaves? Is it a good business idea or not? You can make money at it. There's a lot of labor, physical labor that goes along with it, and there's a lot of expensive equipment to do it right.
Yep.
You can start kind of small, which is what I did, and but it becomes inadequate pretty quickly. Anyway, so yeah, the people gave me some really good feedback. They loved the bread, and
like just friends that you had baked it for?
Right. Yeah. Friends, I would bring it to my daughter's school or something, and the kids loved it. My daughter's cousin, who never eats crust, and this has happened with a number of people that they don't like crust, but they will eat they love the crust from my bread.
Oh,
so
yeah. My mom used to always tell me this lie, and I'm calling you out here, Mama, because you're listening to the program. I know you do. She used to tell me this crap: if you don't eat the crust, your hair won't grow. That if the crust, you have to eat the crust of your bread or your hair won't grow. And it used to scare me into eating the crust every time, because I'd go, oh, my poor hair. Have you ever heard that?
No, I haven't. No, I have not heard that. I never disliked the crust, although I can see why people don't like the crust of bread you buy in the store, because it's not really, it doesn't really add anything to it. I mean, I'm someone that finished my plate. When I eat something, my plate is clean. And you don't even have to put it in the dishwasher sometimes.
We all do just for fun.
What's that?
We all do just for fun, but his plates are licked clean.
So, I will eat the crust, whether, but the crust on my bread is really tasty. So, it's not a hardship to eat. And I understand people who don't like regular crust on regular bread. So
I can definitely feel you people. All right. I spent the first 15 years of my life trying to get around the crust. Mom, you're bad. When I found that out later on in life that the crust doesn't not have any more nutritional value to it than the rest of the bread, I was like, son of a, are you for real? Are you for real? That lie perpetuated in my mind forever and ever. Unbelievable. Anyway, so there's got to be a lot of challenges involved in it. I mean, generally there's a storefront and all of this overhead that people are worried about, but I'm sure that doing a delivery and a subscription service comes with its own whole set of challenges. And I mean, especially now, because I mean, you just get to rolling and then COVID-19. So talk to me a little bit about some of the challenges that you faced.
Yeah, so so I knew I had a good product, but I didn't know that. I don't know. I think I thought of the delivery idea right from the start, where I was thinking, well, I could just go down the street and go to all the neighbors and say, hey, you want some bread? I can deliver to you on Tuesday or something like that. And then I could, once that day got filled up, I could go to the next street over and on a Wednesday say, I'm going to deliver it to you on Wednesday. That kind of thing was the idea. And maybe, that was my idea originally. It hasn't really done a little, that's probably how I should have done it, but I went a little differently. Now I basically deliver everywhere. And I still kind of, the software I use basically groups regions that are, like I'll go north on Thursday. So we're not going, north, south, east, west on Thursday. We're just going in one specific area.
One direction.
And that helps. But anyway, the idea was that a retail space, I personally, like I've gone to bakeries that have good bread, and I am just not going to go there every week. It's like, oh,
yeah,
you know what? That bread's really good. I think I'll go there and I will. It's like a special treat, if I think about it. But the convenience of having the bread delivered to you, if I could deliver it cost effectively, because I don't want to spend as much money delivering it as I'm getting, in sales. It doesn't make any sense. I don't want to be
it's got to be profitable.
Bread. Yeah, I mean, business it's nice to like what you do, but it's also nice to get paid for it, and not just an appreciation of saying how great your bread is.
Right.
You
don't want verbal payment from everybody. You need.
I know, it's nice.
Pay bills.
It's really nice. I mean, people have given me a lot of compliments on the bread, but it's like I also want to get paid. So, and that's real. I mean, it's sort of on me, as the business owner. Nobody else cares whether you get paid or not. I mean, they want you around.
Well, yeah. I mean, a smart consumer, goes, I want to invest in a company that's going to be around long enough to keep providing me with yummy bread for a long time.
Right. Exactly. I mean, yeah, but people also want it as cheap as they can, I mean, they don't want.
That's why I said smart consumers. That's a very small percent. No, I'm just kidding. Call the consumers out there.
Yes, most people are not. They're not aware of the challenges of a small business.
Yeah.
They don't realize everything that goes into it and how much you have invested in it. And sometimes, those customers are not as fun to deal with.
They're not. And you can't expect everybody to understand, because I mean, let's be for real. I don't understand what my doctor went through to become a doctor.
Right.
On paper, I suppose, I could imagine that it was tough.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I also don't ask for a discount at my yearly physical.
yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot that goes in it. So anyway, so the delivery idea was, give them a service of the delivery, save them time of going into very specialty type store.
Yeah.
And then on what I get out of it is a customer that keeps coming back, except I go to them really, but they keep paying me
Right.
because it's automatic. If it's a subscription, they don't have to come in. They don't even have to think about, you know, how much they want. They just order. They can also do one-time orders as well, but and it also, part of it is good for me in that it does take a couple days to make the bread, so I need to know beforehand. So if you come in the store right now, I will have to, like, if I had a retail space, I will have to make extra to accommodate people coming in.
Right.
And if people don't come in, then I've made bread for nothing, and I have to throw it out or, you know, donate it or whatever. So that it makes it more efficient as far as like the amount of loaves that I need to make every day.
Right. You can
Um,
predict it because you've got a set number of orders
right,
coming
you have
through.
to pre-order it,
Right.
and because I can't just make it today. I can't. I have to have started it, you know, a couple days ago. So because it starts with a starter, and then the starter turns into dough, and then the dough turns into bread. So it's a couple days.
Okay. So, and you know, delivery holds its own challenges in and of itself. You
Yes.
know, going and traveling around and dropping it off to people. How often do you have a driver come back like, "Hey, I ran out of bread." Does that ever happen?
Yes. I mean, and then
Uh,
we make mistakes. One day I mean I have one small oven right now, so there are days when I'm starting baking at 4:30, um, and you know and I have to bake for 9 hours just to get the loaves done, so that they can be delivered before dinner time is the
ooh,
my goal. And so sometimes I'm real tired. One day I made, I think, 35 extra loaves by
ooh,
mistake, and I
oh,
could have been sleeping instead of baking. But when I went back and looked at the numbers, I think I made 4 different mathematical errors because I was just tired.
that's what happens when you're tired, folks.
Yeah. And then I
35
make more,
extra loaves.
and then I work, you know, like I'm tired because I'm working a lot, and then I'm working extra, you know, to make up for the mistakes that I made because I was tired. So
Yeah.
it, you know, it happens that we make mistakes. We deliver the wrong loaves to people. We run out. One time the drivers had the opposite loaf counts. So one guy's like, "Hey, I ran." One guy's like, I'm done, but I have like 15 loaves extra." And I was like, "Okay, that sounds like a lot. I bet the other driver is going to be 15 loaves short." And sure enough,
Right.
like within 10 minutes, I got a call like, "I'm running out of loaves." So I just had to have them meet and, you know, and
Problem
transfer the,
solved. Oh man,
yeah,
people don't understand how difficult the baking business is too. Like the baking industry, it sounds like all cupcakes and pony rides, but at the end of the day, there's a lot that goes into a lot of planning. There's a lot of
mhm,
time considerations because it's
yes,
extremely time consuming. You know, one loaf of bread takes as long as it makes to, you know, as it takes to make like 15 loaves of bread, depending on the
mm,
size of your equipment. And so a lot of consumers will understand, like, my husband used to own a small bakery with me, and people go, "I just want to order one." And I'd be like, "No, And they're like, well, I just really want like 1 or 2 pieces. And I'm like, I really can't sell you 1 or 2 pieces because it
Right.
takes me the same amount of time to make, 50 pieces as it does
Hmm.
1, because a batch is a batch is a batch. And the time
Right.
factor on how long it takes for dough to rise, on how long it takes for it to proof, or how long it takes for it to bake does not change just because you want 1
Right.
or 2 pieces. So
Right.
I'd literally be losing money. Well, it would just be your time. Hello. Do you not know that time is money? I'm pretty sure everybody knows time is money, except for you. Like, everybody knows that. Come on, people. But
Yeah.
you have a really interesting concept for your bakery. I really like that subscription idea, because you see people are very used to subscriptions too. They're used to having something that automatically renews, that they don't have to necessarily like remember.
This is, I mean, honestly, this is pretty new. I mean, there are subscriptions, and we have milk from, they're still doing that. I think Meadowbrook, I think is the name of the company, but they
Meadowbrook, yeah.
still deliver, I think, weekly. I don't think anything else is, well, and then you have CSAs as well, but they typically don't deliver to your home.
Right.
Um, but most things, meals and such, we order and then it gets there in an hour or something like that. So that's been like sort of an education for people. Um,
Right, that you don't have like this shop that's full
right,
of bread. It's baked just for you. So it's
right, right.
a different animal altogether. If you had a
Yeah,
storefront and you were just pulling off of shelves, that would be one thing. But you also lose a little bit with that. You lose, the capability of
right.
knowing and guaranteeing freshness. Um, there are companies who throw away day olds, and there's other ones who reuse them for the next day. But then that quality slips. So it's a totally different concept with what you've
And
got going on.
I mean, in our price point, a loaf is $7.50 if you order one, and I mean that price is really low if you consider it's 100% organic. It's basically artisan baked.
Hmm.
You can get bread, for like $6 at Hannaford's. Hannaford, it's good, but it's not great. It's in a bag. It's it's been there for I don't know how long.
Your
It could
guess
have
is
been
good as
delivered,
mine.
a day to 3 or 4 days maybe. Um, and it's not delivered. So it it's I for an extra $1.50 you get something that's organic. Organic costs 3 times the cost of regular
Right.
flour and such. And then, so I mean, like, honestly, I think it's worth more. And then we also give discounts. You buy two, it's like 10% less, and three is 15% less. So then it's almost the same price as Hannaford.
Yeah.
They're good bread. And then you also have some places like Whole Foods and such that they will bake their bread every day fresh. Um, that's what they say. But it's bread that's usually pre-baked. It's not dough that's made in-house. So it's already baked somewhere. They probably put it in the fridge or freeze it,
Right.
and then they bake it. Um, and it looks really good. I've tried a lot of it. I was not impressed with the taste, but you know, it's I guess that's the hard part, is getting people to try something, even if it's only 7.50.
Yeah. Something new, something different, something that they're not used to seeing. Change is difficult for most human beings. Change
Right.
is it's a taboo topic. So tell me a little bit about what you see the future of the bakery looking like. Where do you see the future of the Bread Butler going?
Well, I have a new oven that is on its way.
Woohoo!
Originally, I know. Originally, I had more of my current oven coming, um, but they were delayed. I've been waiting 6 weeks, and it was delayed another 5 weeks in the end or middle of July, and they're inexpensive, um, but they're sort of low. They're not really meant for professional bakery. They're more like a prosumer model. But anyway, I decided to go all in. And I've got this really nice Italian oven coming next week. Costs as much as a car, and I had to borrow money from my parents to, to be able to afford it, but it should make the bread a little, a little more consistent, should make it maybe a little bit better. And I can bake quite quite a lot more in it. So I won't necessarily have to get up quite so early. Allows me to maybe have a little extra time to do some, I don't know, marketing, or I'm also looking at expanding my products a little bit, maybe having like a weekly bread that is, I have some ideas, like maybe a stuffed bread, or maybe like a swirl bread, something with things inside that it will cost a little bit more, but will be a weekly thing. So you can order every week, it'll change, which I think will be good for marketing, and people will, I think, I got to do some experimenting and see what tastes good, because that's actually really what I'm about, is making the best bread that that you've tasted.
It's got to taste okay. I mean, it's
Yeah,
one thing to have a really flashy concept and have the
right.
delivery thing going for you, but if it
Mhm.
doesn't taste good,
Yeah,
there's a lot of other
that's
bread.
exactly, and this will, hopefully will have a combination of looking amazing, and then tasting amazing as well.
Yeah.
It'll be different because, like the plain breads are more of a staple kind of thing, whereas these will be like a special treat. I don't know. Um, Not sure exactly what, this is sort of in the beginning. I've made a few loaves like that, but um, and I've also, the other thing that I'm doing is um, maybe partnering with some other local foodstuffs, especially that pair with bread, like spreads or oils or something like that. If they're good,
Nice.
I have to try them out.
I can't think of many things that bread doesn't go with. I can't.
I
I don't
know.
know. That's a toughie. Bread goes with a lot of stuff.
Well, there
Uh,
are, like somebody who's doing a product like that locally is going to have, I think, a difficult time getting it to people. I mean, the farmers markets are now, they're sort of exclusive. I don't know if you know anything about them, but like it's
no,
not,
not
you
really.
can't just get into a farmer's market. They don't like competition.
Oh wow. So like
Yeah,
somebody's already got the the one thing covered, so they don't get
right.
somebody else who does something similar.
Yeah, I like 5 or 6 years ago when I was looking at the bread business, I asked a couple farmers markets, and they were like, no, we've got a couple bakers already. We don't want a third. We don't want too much competition because we want them to be able to make money or something like that. So,
Well, how dare they make money?
well, I mean,
Yeah,
but the thing
it does
was,
seem
like,
weird.
those bakers would be sold out by like 10 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, they're not. I don't know. It's don't you want the customers to also have a good experience? I mean, I don't know, it's a balance, I guess. They
That's
have
true.
to, they don't want to have too many things, and
I've got to say,
I
I'm
don't
one of those people who I only go to farmers markets when my sister drags me to one. Because I'm like, hun, I don't want to go. They're going to play folk music and have a lot of 4,000 different types of jelly. It's not my scene. Like,
yeah, I yeah, the inconvenience for me is what, like, people have asked me if, why don't you go, to a farmer's market, sell bread there? Um,
because somebody's already locked down the territory, man.
yeah, it's just like, it's only open 4 hours a week.
Yeah,
So it's another thing about inconvenience for the customer. I mean, like, if you don't, and it's on a Saturday
right.
morning, like, I'd like to do, there's a lot of things I'd like to do on Saturday morning. If I feel like going to a farmer's market, then okay, let's go. But most Saturday
See?
mornings, I want to do other things. Because
Have this conversation with my sister for me, will you? This is the same conversation I have with her on Saturday mornings in the summer. She's like, come on, I want to take you to the farmer's market. I'm like,
yeah.
I hate shopping. A. B. I really hate shopping outside. C. Folk music. That's all I got to say. The folk music is really the sign off on all of this. No offense to you folksy peoples out there. It's not for me. They could get Kiss to play at a farmer's market. I'll be first in line. I'll buy everything. I'll be right there with you. Man, that's funny. So, guys, this has been the Bread Butler, Andreas. What's your website?
It's hard to remember. It's called thebreadbutler.com.
Guys, don't rack your brains. I'm going to put it down at the bottom here. I'm going to put a link right down there. So keep an eye out for it. And if you guys want to reach out to him, he's on Facebook. He's got the website. He's easy to chat with. I'm going to throw a phone number down in here if you want to ask questions. And thanks for being with us. I really appreciate you answering all of my questions and helping people to get to know the Bread Butler a little bit better. And I hope you have a really great weekend.
All right. Thank you. You too.
All right. God bless. Happy Friday. Thanks for listening to Friday's Flavor with your girl JoJo. Please subscribe to help support local New York business owners. And I hope that you enjoyed. If you want to be featured on Friday's Flavor, please email me at fridaysflavor@gmail.com.